guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you guys are new to my channel, hi, my name is Blanca Yvette and I do post videos on my main channel here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do have a vlog channel as well that I will have also linked down below for you guys. So today's video, I went on Instagram and I asked you guys to send over some questions that you guys are too afraid or too embarrassed to ask. So with this actual video, it's literally going to be a variety of different questions. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. But I wanted to do another girl talk video for you guys just because you guys really loved the last one that I posted. If you guys did not see it, I will have it linked down below for you guys. But I have been really enjoying these girl talk videos. I always get the comments that you guys love when I give you guys advice. That you guys love, that you guys talk to me and I can talk to you guys like I am your older sister, a friend, whatever the case may be. I'm here to help you guys. So I'm going to try to get through as many of the questions. I kind of went through a few of them and selected some that stood out to me. But with me being the person that I am, I talk so much. So I want to make sure that I give you guys like a good explanation, but obviously get through a lot of the questions. So if you guys are interested in today's video, then just keep on watching. So you guys sent over a bunch of questions and I guess a lot of them were definitely catching me off guard just because I sometimes assume that most people know common sense as far as like, not common sense, but a lot of people actually know like how to put a tampon in or like hygiene. Like those are the things that people assume like you should know how to do that. But you don't really realize how many people don't. And I find myself a lot asking, you know, for advice a lot or whatever the case is. And then when I start talking to people about whatever the subject is, I get super surprised and I'm like, wow, like I thought I was the only person that felt that way. So with these questions, you guys are probably going to be very surprised with how many people are actually going to relate with you guys and how much you probably needed these answers and didn't even realize that it was something that was maybe not normal to you, or I don't know if I'm making sense. But even just yesterday, if you guys are familiar with obviously your body and everything, if you guys have ever gotten a UTI, I was actually having a conversation with some friends yesterday and that conversation led from like UTIs to vaginal discharge and like all these questions about wearing the wrong underwear and what causes it and stuff that basically you don't really know unless you're going on there and you're Googling or you're talking about it. You as a woman, you kind of assume like, okay, well maybe this is normal or maybe this isn't normal. So sometimes it's nice to be able to talk to people about it. So I myself actually just got a UTI not too long ago and I was trying to figure out why. I was trying to figure out what was going on with my body. I'm on antibiotics and I was trying to just maybe get the solution on why I keep getting them. So I know that it's definitely not, a lot of the people always say, like even doctors, they'll tell you if you don't pee right after sex or if you're wiping from, you know, forward, like back forward, that can cause UTIs as well. But I actually came to the conclusion that I believe it's actually my thongs that are causing the UTIs. So if you're somebody who wears thongs on a daily basis like I do, and I'm talking about day, night, to sleep, every day 24/7, then you're probably one of mine that are wondering why you keep getting UTIs. So I went shopping yesterday at Victoria's Secret and I bought myself a whole bunch of underwear and now I'm only going to be wearing my seamless thongs whenever I'm maybe going out or if I just don't want, you know, any panty lines to be showing. But moving forward, I need to be wearing full covered underwear and seeing if that is the problem, you know. So those are the things that you probably don't even really realize is happening to your body until it happens to you. Let me tell you guys, getting a UTI is probably the worst pain ever. You know, like I had fullness on my bladder, like I felt like I had to go pee and then I would go pee and I couldn't pee. My urine was a little cloudy and then I was trying to figure out like maybe I'm not drinking a lot of water. But if you guys know me, I drink a lot of water. I don't drink soda, I don't drink juices, I don't drink anything flavored unless I'm having an alcoholic beverage. But on a daily basis, I always drink water and that's all I drink. So I knew it wasn't anything with my water intake. So that's when I decided to just make an appointment. I was like, okay, I'm feeling pain. I started feeling like even like my right side was hurting, and I was like, oh my god, hopefully it's not my appendix. And you guys already know I panic over everything, so I was like, shit. I was like, what is wrong with me? So then I ended up going to the doctor, and they said, well, I called advice nurse, and they said that I had a UTI. So if you guys are anybody that is going through that right now, try to figure that out. If maybe your thongs are the problem, and if it's not, then it might be one of the other two things that I mentioned. But I love talking about these topics just because, like I said, it's things that people don't really tell you about, or they don't talk about, and then you start wondering if it's normal. But don't be afraid to ask these questions. Always have that friend or that person that hopefully you guys can go to if you guys have any questions. But I'm going to get right into the questions that you guys actually asked. One that really stood out to me, it says, how do you know if your relationship is toxic besides physical cheating and on and off? I feel like when it comes to relationships, if you're in the relationship, you're really not going to know if your relationship is toxic. But definitely start paying attention to the people around you. If you're starting to lose friends, if your friends are starting to kind of lose interest as far as like them, you know, telling you the same things over and over and over again, like, look, like this isn't healthy, or look, you guys need to work on this, or whatever the case, like, you're gonna be able to know that something's up. I feel like whenever I was in my relationship in the past and I knew that it was bad, I didn't know that it was as bad as it was when I was in it. And now looking back, I'm like, damn, like I'm stupid. Like I didn't even think about any of that stuff. I didn't realize that all those little things meant that I was in a really toxic relationship. And the very, very first sign is definitely losing people around you. And I'm not talking about losing people like your friends, oh, they don't want to come around with your relationship or anything, but them just getting to the point where it's like, look, I'm tired of seeing you being mistreated and thinking that it's normal, you know. And at the end of the day, you're going to do whatever you're going to do to make sure that you're fine in your relationship, and whether you stay with your person or you don't stay with your person, I feel like that's like the number one sign. And you know, being toxic doesn't have to be just physical or abusive or anything like that. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, it's gonna come from, you know, are you crying more than usual? Like, are you spending a lot of time crying and arguing with this person? Because if you are, that's not healthy. Like, I can probably count the times that I've cried in my relationship, you know what I mean? And it's not healthy. It's not healthy if you're sitting there and contemplating your life, if you're sitting there, you know, crying every day or wondering why you're not happy, if you're jealous more than usual, if your significant other isn't making you feel special. Like, all those things are all important in a relationship. So definitely start maybe writing all of your pros and your cons down, and how happy are you, like how much of your time are you happy and how much of your time are you sad? Because if you're more sad than you are happy, then you are definitely in a toxic relationship or in an unhealthy relationship. I don't say toxic because I feel like toxic is very like, I feel like toxic and unhealthy can be two different things. You know, when you're just toxic, like that's just because you're hurt and you're being petty and you're being abusive and you're being like, I don't know, like I feel like there's just levels, and it starts with an unhealthy relationship that gradually turns into a toxic relationship. Hopefully that makes sense. But you're gonna know, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna know if you start thinking about those things. But the hardest thing is actually accepting it and trying to move on from a relationship. And if you want my advice, I definitely feel like once you've gotten to a point in your relationship, there's definitely no going back, especially if cheating has been involved, or if any of that stuff's been happening. Like, it's never going to get any better unless you decide to forget about those things and move on, or just leave the relationship and move on by yourself. Another question: me and my husband have sex every day. Is that too much? Definitely not. It is not too much. But if you're okay with that, like, I feel like you're asking me, like, are you enjoying your sex with your husband every day? Because if you are, then it's healthy. But if you're doing it just because you're trying to make him happy, then no, that's not healthy. Like, you guys need to make sure that you guys are in a mutual agreement that that is what you guys both want and what you guys both need in your relationship to keep it, you know, healthy and thriving. You know, I feel like there is no number to how many times you should be having sex with your significant other. If once a month works for you, if once a week works for you, if once a day works for you, then Louis, Do you not agree with my answer? Then you are very much capable of doing it as many times as you please. Okay, so I got this question a lot, and it says, butt acne, anything to get rid of it, and how can I stop feeling so self-conscious about it? So I got maybe like 20 questions about butt acne. And to be honest with you guys, I feel like if you are comfortable with your significant other, that is definitely not something that you should be worried about. I definitely feel like if you are in the moment and you are having sex, the last thing the person that is having sex with you is thinking about is your butt acne. And I feel like there's, you know, levels. I'm not sure how aggressive the butt acne is, if it's just a couple of, you know, pimples here and there, or like ingrowns or anything like that. Like, I actually get ingrowns whenever I wax, because I do get a full Brazilian, which means that I wax my whole like butt crack area. And there's been times when I get ingrowns like in those areas or like on the outer parts, and I definitely don't feel like it's anything that you should feel self-conscious about. It's something so normal. I feel like we as women need to get to a point in our lives where things just start becoming normal. Like, it's normal to talk about periods. It's normal to talk about vaginal discharge. It's normal to talk about, you know, being on your period. And like, why is it that we feel like we have to hide everything? Like, we take a tampon out of our bag and it's like we don't want people to see that we're on our period. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like all those things need to be normalized, because that is who we are as women. Like, you know, butt acne is definitely not something that you should be concerned about. How to get rid of them, I mean, I feel like maybe just like hot compressions. I feel like when I used to get really bad ingrowns, I mean, it's probably different, but I do know that hot compressions really work with anything that's like puffy, or if there's anything inside of it that needs to maybe come out, that might be a good idea. And to be honest with you, like, you're gonna get to a point in your life where your significant other, where that's something that they can even take care of or help you with, you know. Like, there's been times when I have like an ingrown and I will tell Lisa's like, can you help me pop my ingrown, or like help me take it out, you know. And I don't feel uncomfortable telling him that. He's not there looking at me like I'm disgusting, like, oh my god, like, I'm not gonna help you with that. Like, I feel like that's a very immature way of thinking. And if your boyfriend or your husband or your significant other, your girlfriend, is making you feel like that is nasty, then there's a maturity level that needs to happen there. Like, he needs to grow up, because he should not be making you feel like it's something that you can't talk about. The next question is, how do I make my man go down on me more often? So I feel like you should always be very vocal in your sex life. Like, this is why I feel like you need to really start figuring out if the person that you're in a relationship with is really the right person for you, because all of those things are just gonna happen very naturally. When you're a little younger and you're first like finding yourself, and you're first, you know, in a first boyfriend or in a first relationship, all that stuff is going to be scary for you. You're not going to know how to approach. But when it comes to sex, if you feel like you're ready to have sex, then you should be ready to have those conversations, because that is part of it. I feel like you need to be very vocal with your significant other. I feel like sex is something that is very downplayed sometimes when it comes to being a woman. I feel like sometimes we just think about our guy and we just kind of like lay there and think like, oh, well, this is what sex is supposed to feel like, and they're done, and then it's like you're just there like, oh, okay, that was it. When in reality, when you get to a point where you finally feel like you can talk to your partner, you will let him know what feels good. And that's why I'm very vocal. Like, I'm not shy to talk about any of this stuff, guys. Like, I'm not embarrassed. I have conversations with all of my friends, guys, girls, like, no matter who it is, what sex they are, anything. I am very confident with my sexuality, with how I feel, with anything, you know. So maybe that's just me. Not everybody's like me, obviously. Some people can be shy and don't and want to keep, you know, those things personal and keep those things private. But when it comes to your significant other, you want to be able to have that relationship where you can tell them what's wrong, and they're not gonna get their feelings hurt. And that's another thing. That's another maturity level thing. If your significant other is getting upset over you telling him that maybe he's doing something, maybe not wrong, but he's not taking care of things the way that they need to be getting taken care of, then that again is another maturity level. You should be able to tell your partner like, hey, like maybe if you do it like this, it'll feel a little bit better. Or, you know, like guys also need to get to a point where they don't assume that a girl is telling him what to do, or that you're, you know, making him feel less of a man, because that's not the case. Like your partner should be open and also pleasing you and taking care of you, just how you're learning you're a man and you're taking care of him and you're pleasing him. It should be vice versa. So if you want your man to go down on you more, then tell him, I want you to go down on me more. Like even if it's like in a joking way, I don't know, like I don't know how comfortable you are with the person that you're with, but just be straightforward. I can guarantee you that most men will actually find that initiative of being like direct so much more attractive than them knowing that you're not even getting taken care of, or you're not even being pleased. Imagine being the guy and him over there like, I'm rocking this girl's world, and then you're over there like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, like you will know. I'm telling you guys, like you will know when your sex life changes from something so like not mediocre, but just kind of like, oh, I'm just having sex to have sex, to like, oh my god, I'm having sex because I love having sex. You know? Hope I answered that right. I mean, anytime, guys, anytime that I've been an open book with you guys. Like these past couple of videos, I have been literally sharing everything with you guys. And that's just because I'm not embarrassed. You know, like I don't care if you guys know that I watch porn. I don't care if you guys think that like I'm very vocal with my sex life, or that I look, those things to me, they don't make me embarrassed. Like that's who I am, and that's what works for me, you know? So I know a lot of people aren't comfortable, and somebody asked a question about that, about how you start being intimate with yourself and it not being uncomfortable. And a lot of women struggle with that. They do. They struggle with being in a room by yourself and knowing that you can have your man please you, but you're doing it yourself. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people do struggle with that point in their life where they feel awkward, or they're like, why am I doing this? Or is this normal? Or maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And I definitely 100% recommend at least one point in your life, at least one time, try it. Just try it out, and you will see that it will help you understand your body. Like there's nothing wrong with you understanding how your body works and what feels good. And if that first time means with your significant other, that's okay too. Like, but you have to be comfortable with your partner to let him know like, okay, look, I want to find what feels good for me, and I want you to help me, or do it by yourself, because you're never going to get satisfied unless you know what you want. And I feel like a lot of times it's sad when I hear that women don't experience the same arousal or the same like pleasure that a man does, because a man is always just worried about himself. Like a guy is so easy, like they just go, they get it done, they ejaculate, and it's like, whoo, like good night, you know? And like girls are, it's always so much more difficult, like getting to the point of like even wanting to have sex, and then getting yourself to the point where you're hot and ready, and then once you're hot and ready, they just leave you hot and ready, you know? Like you need to know where that ending is going to happen for you, and you're going to know how to make that happen, you know, because you know your body. And at that point you can tell your man like, look, okay, you're done, go down on me, figure it out down there, and make me feel happy, you know? Like those are the conversations that you need to start having with your partner, because I do feel like when you are having sex, it is important for you to both be taken care of and not you just worry about your guy. You know, that's why I feel like I laugh every time that guys think that they're just rocking girls' world. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of men, they know what they're doing, you know, but when guys are sitting there bragging and like, yeah, like I did this to, I mean, I had sex with all these girls. Yeah, had sex, but that doesn't mean that you actually had sex. Like you made her feel like she went to Pluto, you know? Like there's levels, and just because a person has a high body count doesn't mean that they know what they're doing, you know? I just realized that I do a lot of like with my hands. I just feel like I'm such an expressive person, and I feel like the only way you guys can feel that I'm like talking legit is by me moving my hands. I actually got an award for that in the 6th grade. I had a reading thing where, I don't know if you guys did this in school or anything off topic, but they would have like writing contests and like reading contests. So I entered the reading contest and I won because my teacher said that she loved how expressive I was with my hands. Okay, so next question. Do you get uncomfortable while receiving oral sex? I do not feel uncomfortable. I feel like it's something so normal, and like I said, your significant other should be down to be able to do whatever he wants to do. Also, don't like pressure him. If he doesn't want to go down on you, like have those conversations and figure out why. You know what I mean? Like, why does he want to go down on you? Like, does he think it's nasty or what? But I mean, most guys, I know a lot of guys are like, I don't eat ass, or like, no, I don't go down on my girl and all this stuff, and it's like, boy, shut up. Like, you know you do. Like, stop lying. You know, they just try to like front and pretend like they're not down, but most men are down. Like, if they can go and have sex with 20 girls and not care, like they're down to just go down on one girl, you know? Like, sometimes like I have conversations, and mind you, it helps me that I am like around so many dudes. Like, since I've grown up, like since I was in high school, like I've always had a lot of guy friends, and like I know how much guys talk. I've been that girlfriend, not the girlfriend, but like the friend that's a girl, that guys will go and like mess around with girls, and like they'll tell me about it. And it's like I've been in that point of my life where now I know guys talk, all guys brag, and you know what I mean? Like, I've been around so many guys that's like I feel like I have them all freaking figured out most of the time. But you should not feel comfortable. You should not feel uncomfortable. There was another one that was in here about like showering, if I'm not mistaken. How do I tell my significant other to shower before sex without insulting them? Definitely if it's, so are you having sex with your partner and noticing that something is weird? Like, you know, like, does it smell weird, or is something going on? Because regardless, guys sweat, you know, like their balls sweat, everything sweats, you know, so they're gonna get some type of little odor. And I'm not talking about an odor like an STD odor. I'm talking about like an odor where it's like it's just sweating, you know. So if that bothers you, then I don't feel like you should be uncomfortable telling him that he needs to go shower, or just be like, let's go shower together, babe, come on, you know, start the night there and shower with him, so now he doesn't feel like you're telling him to shower, you know, because you definitely don't want to be like, go shower because you stink last night, you know. That's not how you want to say it. But if it's something that's bothering you, then definitely like try to work your way in there and be like, well, maybe we should shower, or you know. But then if you do get to the point where like you're comfortable, like I'm comfortable with what he says, like I'll tell him like, boy, you need to go shower right now, or you're not getting done, you know. Like, then you're gonna, there's levels, like you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be able to just tell him like, come on, it's time to go shower right now. Okay, facial hair. So I'm guessing women with facial hair. Facial hair is very normal, guys. It's definitely something that cannot be prevented. Some of us have more hair than others, but it is very normal. How to deal with facial hair is going to be completely up to you. I used to get my face threaded before. I definitely do not recommend waxing your face, and the only reason why, it's because with personal experience, I started noticing that my mustache area started getting kind of green. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I started getting like a shadow, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to figure something out. Threading has been the best thing that has ever happened as far as like facial hair. And also these little like blades here, they're not like a razor, and the way that you take your hair off is just very lightly, so it's not like you're shaving your face. They have been working amazing for me. They get rid of all the peach fuzz. It's definitely not going to add or make your hair like super thick or coarse. Of course, if you do notice that, then definitely stop. But I feel like threading was an amazing solution for me. And these right here, I'll have them linked down below. I've talked to you guys about them before, but I love to use these right before I do my makeup. Like for my eyebrows, I just kind of like go in there and clean up my brows, clean up like the little peach fuzz on the side of my cheekbones, and then for my mustache. If you guys have like chin hair or anything, I know a lot of women do have chin hair, then that is also super normal that you guys can just deal with. Stop making these men feel like I feel like stop letting guys make us insecure. You know what I mean? Because I feel like guys are such bullies sometimes that they try to make you feel like it's not normal, but it's like, we're freaking normal. They're not normal. They belong on another planet, okay? Like, women, you guys just need to learn to accept those things that kind of come with being a woman. And just because men are the only ones that have a beard doesn't mean that it's not normal for us to get peach fuzz on our face. We're all human beings. Like, we're all meant to be the exact same. You know what I mean? Like, our hormones are obviously women hormones, so they're going to produce less, you know, manly features, but it's so normal to have a mustache and have armpit hair and all that stuff. Like, men, if you're watching this, stop fucking making us feel like shit. Shit. Like, I am all about women empowerment, okay? Like, I am such a feminist, guys. Like, I stand for my women, and I'm tired of these men thinking that they could just, like, treat us however the fuck they want to treat us, you know? We need to show them who's boss. We're the bosses, okay? Next question. Best sex toys and how do I introduce them to my partner? I'm so excited about this question because I am such an advocate for spicing up your sex life. Like, I feel like you should be 100% confident with using toys. Take your partner to the sex store. Let that be something that is normal. I also had a question on here on how to hide when you order a sex toy from your parents. If you guys did not know, a lot of sex stores actually have discreet boxes. If you were to shop from a store, I'm gonna actually name it here. It's called Adam and Eve. If you guys were to purchase anything from that store, whether it's a vibrator, whether it's a clit stimulator, whether it's a lube, because maybe your vagina is not creating a WAP, then that is fine. Buy some lube, that is okay. All those places that you can order from online, they have discreet packaging. Now, if your parents are the parents that just open up your packages, then you're on your own. But most of the time they come like just in a brown box, and they stuff it like a normal packaging. You can even request to just put on there like fragile or whatever, like do not open, like I don't know, like they have like very specific stuff. Also, like if you know that your package is coming, obviously just being on top of like, oh, okay, I'm expecting a package. Like I said, I know that especially being Mexican, like our parents have a tendency of just opening our shit and just like, oh, te digo una caja de la abrí and this is what happened, you know? So it's like, if your parents are like my parents, that just want to open everything, then definitely be a little bit more cautious. But as far as like the packaging goes on the outside, if you're worried that somebody's just gonna deliver, like the delivery guys can be like, here you go, like here's your vibrator, they're not gonna know that. Like they're not gonna know that. And now introducing it to your partner, I feel like that's probably gonna be the hardest thing, just because a lot of men do not take the whole like toy situation very well sometimes, and I speak it from experience. A lot of the guys might think that they're doing something wrong, or they're thinking like, well, what is that doing that my penis can't do? You know, a lot of things, guys. It does a lot of things that your penis can't do, unfortunately. But you're not gonna tell him that, you know? You're going to just let him know, like, look, like, we're just gonna have a little bit of fun. Fucking planes. Did everybody decide to fucking fly today? If you guys want to have that conversation, don't just go buy a vibrator and be like, here, babe, like use it on me, you know, like that's not how it's gonna work. Have that conversation like, oh, like maybe we should go to the sex store, or we should like browse around, get some toys, and obviously get like different types of toys, get just different things that might spice up your relationship. Like sex should not feel awkward, guys. Like it should not feel awkward for you to do these things and experiment and have fun, and especially being a mom and being with, you know, your significant other for years and all that stuff. We know how hard it is to feel sexy again and, you know, feel like your sex life is spontaneous. You don't ever want to feel like your sex life is a drag. Like you don't ever want it to be like another chore, like, oh, I'm done taking care of the kids, now I gotta go take care of my husband. Like it should never be like that. Like nighttime should be like your fun time where you're like looking forward to like bedtime and like, ooh, like I'm gonna go have fun with my husband, you know, like those things are very important. And I feel like sex toys and just being intimate like that is important. And I'm saying if it's not being enough with just sex, like if you're somebody who doesn't need the toys, then don't use the toys. You don't have to. But if you get to a point where you start feeling like, man, like this is just becoming such a normal routine, like we're just doing the same 3 positions and we're getting to the point and that's it, then that's when you want to start, you know, playing around and start adding like different things and just make it fun. Enjoy life, guys. Life is just too short to not live your best life and have fun, you know? I always tell, I got a lot of shit on my last video about Yvette, how people were saying for me to stop telling her to get a boyfriend. We only fuck around with her when she asks. I am 100% always encouraging Yvette to live her best life. Like I tell her that I support her activities, okay? Because if she wants to go and have fun, go have fun. I am here to support it. If you guys do not have significant others and you guys are going to have fun, go have fun. Just take care of yourself, be safe, and that's it. As long as you know that you're taking care of yourself and you're being safe, have fun. You know, don't let anybody make you feel like you're a hoe for having multiple partners or whatever. Like, be out there and enjoy your best life, okay? I support the hotivities. I'm gonna come out with a shirt that says, I support the hotivities. How are you gonna know if you had an orgasm? You will know. You will know, and if you're asking, you haven't. If you're asking if how are you, like if you're asking me, how do you know when you have an orgasm, you haven't had one. Because when you have an orgasm, you will know exactly what the orgasm feels like. Like your whole body will feel hot and then your body will shake. You will literally have like a real as life like seizure, you know? Like, I mean, not a seizure, like no disrespect to anybody, you know, I don't want anybody to take it out of proportion, but like you feel like you're uncontrollable, like your body starts shaking from head to toes and you cannot control it. That is what an orgasm feels like. If you haven't felt it, I'm so sorry. And that's where you guys go to adamandeve.com and purchase a clit stimulator. Clit stimulator, ladies. Trust me, okay? I'm gonna link my favorite one down below for you guys, okay? Let me know if you guys like it. If you do, you're welcome. Yeah, next question. Does size really matter? I used to be a very high believer in size does matter. I feel like it matters if you're doing like maybe a specific position and it keeps slipping out. I feel like in that sense it will matter, but if your guy knows what he's doing, it does not matter. It doesn't matter if he has, well, it depends on how small too, okay? So maybe like average to like amazing shouldn't matter, but like super small, like sorry, like maybe you're gonna have to work a little harder. You're gonna have to work a little harder than the other guy that didn't have to work as hard, you know? Like you're gonna have to know how to take care of your partner in other ways, because like I don't think it matters, okay? Like I'm trying to justify the fact that you want to see like, oh my god, like you're about to tear me up kind of penis, but I definitely feel like if your guy knows what he's doing, he's gonna know how to please you. He's gonna know how to take care of you. He's gonna know how to rock your world with or without the big sized penis. So I definitely don't feel like it matters, but to a certain extent, like I don't know, that's like a very hard question. We'll skip that one because I'll let you guys decide if size matters. Let me know down below, guys, in the comments. Do you guys think size matters? If it does, let me know why. Now talking about like your vaginal area, a lot of you guys were asking about discharge, like what is normal discharge. I was actually having this conversation with some friends yesterday, and we were talking about a bunch of discharge and how normal it is and how often it happens. And to be honest with you guys, I was very surprised. It's 5 girls of us that we were talking, and I was surprised to find out that half of us had a lot of vaginal discharge and then half of us didn't, you know? So it's normal to have a lot of vaginal discharge, and it's also normal to not have a lot of vaginal discharge. It doesn't mean that your body is different, it's just the way that your body works. Now when it becomes a problem, it's when you start seeing the consistency and the like texture and the color of it then that's when it's like something that you need to worry about. Your discharge should be clear, gooey. Sometimes it can be a little milky, depends if you're ovulating, but when it starts turning into a very thick consistency like cottage cheese or green or yellow or brown, or pink, then that's when something's going on. Brown can be like STDs. It can mean that there's blood circulating in, like your period's coming, all that stuff. Like it all depends, you know, on what's happening that time of the month. If you just got off your period, if it has a fishy smell, you know, that's where you start kind of figuring out what's normal and what's not. If your vaginal odor just kind of like changed, then there's a problem. If you went from like having like no vaginal odor to like, oh my god, like it's starting to smell a little sour, or it's starting to smell a little sweet, because there is like a sweet smell too. If it starts smelling like just different than what you're normally used to, then it's a raise for concern. You should definitely, if you're thinking about that something's wrong, then half of the time the chance is that there might be something wrong. And I'm speaking from what your body naturally looks, you know, smells like. If there's an odor there, like since you were 9 to now, then that's just how your body works. But I definitely feel like it's something that's like super like out of the ordinary that you just noticed from one day to another, then definitely get that checked out. And yeah. How to clean your vaginal area. I never really know if I'm doing it the right way. So I do have a hygiene video that I will link down below for you guys, where I talk about hygiene as far as like stuffs and like products. I definitely don't feel like you should ever use like scented products in your vaginal area. I know that St. Ives always like promotes a whole bunch of stuff. There is like sensitivity ones that you guys could try if it's something that you want, like if you want your vagina to smell like super fresh or anything. They have like wipes and stuff, but I would definitely not depend on this for like a daily use. I would stick to just soap and water, and it will smell fresh. Like when you get out of the shower, like your vaginal area will smell fresh. If it makes you more comfortable to shower before having sex, do it. You know, if you're gonna go see your boyfriend and you know you're gonna get jiggy with it, shower right before he's gonna pick you up, get ready, start your day fresh, and within that hour or two, your vaginal odor should not change. Like none of that should change. So if that makes you feel comfortable, definitely do it. As women, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was actually a guy, and he thought that women wash their vaginas by literally like sticking their fingers in there and like washing it, and then like sticking them out and putting soap in there and like watering it. And no, that's not how you clean your vagina. You literally just clean the outer area of it. When you're discharging, that's actually cleaning out your vagina from the inside, so you don't have to do any of that stuff, you know. It sucks that, you know, in health, they didn't really talk about those things. They just showed us a freaking lady giving birth and scarred us for life, and that was like sex education and health education. But there's a lot that goes on in a woman's body that I feel like with time you're gonna start knowing and figuring out yourself. But I'm glad that I can do these videos. If you guys actually love, you know, hearing me out with like those topics that people don't really want to talk about, like I said, I'm here to help you guys. I would love to do these videos more often for you guys. Like I'm not just here to like entertain you guys and, you know, do that stuff. Like I want to actually help you guys and help you guys grow and treat you guys like if you guys were my own friends, and share things with you guys that are helpful, that are really going to help you guys out in life or with your guys's self and self-esteem and all of that good stuff. But I think I covered a pretty good amount of questions. I don't want to make this video like super long, but if I did answer your question, let me know. If I didn't and you guys have more questions, definitely ask me down below so I can do a part 2 to this specific video and just share more questions with you guys, or any topics for girl talk. I definitely want to do girl talk at least maybe once every 2 weeks to just sit down, chat with you guys. I love talking to you guys and just talking everything girls. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a huge thumbs up, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And also guys, make sure you guys turn on your post notification on to make sure that you guys are being alerted anytime that I post a new video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Love you guys.